Level 5 is known for RPGs. They have created some of the most engrossing role-playing games in the last decade. Dark Cloud 1 and 2, Dragon Quest VII, and Professor Layton and the Curious Village, just to name a few. Studio Ghibli is famous across the world. Most people are familiar with their unique style in Miyazaki films. Castle in the Sky, Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, and Princess Mononoke come to mind. When these two giants combine, one could only wonder what sort of awe-inspiring creation lies in wait. Much like any boy his age, Oliver is inquisitive and rambunctious, and this tends to lead to trouble. His friend creates an automobile that Ali absolutely must drive, and so he sneaks out in the middle of the night to test it out. As soon as Oliver takes it for a spin, the vehicle immediately breaks down and twists into the river. Oliver's mom comes to the rescue, but that rescue ends in a tragedy that leaves the child all alone. During his depression, he awakens a fairy lord named Mr. Drippy. He leads Oliver to believe that he can save his mother by going to his world and defeating Shadar the Dark Djinn. With renewed vigor, our hero steps through a gateway into a world of adventure beyond his wildest dreams. What Oliver doesn't know is that the evil powers of the world wish to cast him into despair, and he will have to take on the trials of the great sages to fight off their nightmarish powers. Ni no Kuni stands out as one of the most gorgeous games ever to grace a console. Studio Ghibli's artwork and the excellent animation system create a living, breathing game world. A fantasy realm full of imaginative creatures and jaw-dropping landscapes awaits you. The superb combination of 3D backdrops and handcrafted animated sprites soars above other RPGs of the medium. The character models swap expressions and animations during non-voice dialogue, or simple benefits like Mr. Drippy bouncing around all willy-nilly while he's idle. It features an overworld filled with an abundance of creatures with vivid and tantalizing atmospheric effects. The sound design lends itself well to the ears as you travel from dungeon to town. The melodies are reminiscent of the 16-bit era. It's obvious that each area was properly researched and given the musical tone it deserved. The characters' voices are also well matched to the characters on screen. The heroic Oliver shines as the boy with a determination to save the world.
Myrtle, come with me.
Huh?
You can go outside now. You're not sick anymore.
And his partner, Mr. Drippy, oozes with cruel but often witty banter.
Check me out, Dolly boy. I look the business in this little number. Huh? Oh, that's marvelous.
Even the minor characters have amazing voice actors who give their all in each performance.
Here you may burst.
A bull! We are hungry!
Your request does not go unheard, Majesty, but I fear for your bovinity's well-being.
Oliver and the gang don't just roam about taking in the beauties of the world. In fact, they will get into thousands of scuffles in their journey. The battle system is a mixture of free movement, traditional turn-based selection, and a dash of Pokemon. At the start, our good friend Oliver will simply poke things with his stick. No innuendo intended. After he gets a few battles under his belt, he'll learn to control the creatures named familiars. At this point, Oliver will have to give orders to his familiar while keeping his friends alive. After enlisting a few companions, you'll be able to swap between them and their own set of familiars. Companions can initiate attacks without guidance or be controlled directly by the player. Tactics can also be used to tell the characters what to do in most situations. Players are also given the opportunity to go on the full offensive or defensive. Enemy attack variations change constantly, and swapping between the right type of familiar will improve your chances. Warrior types will soak up damage, quick types dish out heavy damage and keep the enemy off guard, and magic types can dish out the pain and restore health at will. Learning when to swap between characters, defend, or even parry incoming attacks is paramount to success. During battle, special items will fall out of the backsides of enemies. These can restore both health and mana, and also activate each of the familiar's ultimate moves. These range from explosive attacks that can cripple the enemy, or effects that bombard the player with healing magic. Even though these are far and few between, the randomness of the orbs keeps the players from constantly entering the item's menu. Familiars gain experience just like Oliver and his friends. The creatures can evolve from leveling up and switch to advanced versions of themselves. But be aware that once they evolve, they will return to level 1. This is where the Pokemon style of gameplay shows its influence. It's time to get my science side out. Here we go. Nerd voice.
Familiars will metamorphose into different versions of themselves, but this is only accomplished by feeding them a specific gem. That's not all there is to the feeding mechanic, as feeding a familiar actually increases its stats.
We're never doing that again. Esther is the only one that can convince a familiar into becoming a part of the team. Oliver and his friends cannot capture these sweet but dangerous creatures at will. After taking a righteous beating, the creature will pronounce its love and become a part of the team. Each of these creatures has a favorite food and will gain familiarity with the player based on this. At a certain level of familiarity, the creature will reach a higher growth level that increases their stat level and ability options. The process of overfeeding your familiar is contained by a fullness meter. It stops players from cheating the system and making overpowered characters from the get-go. A deep alchemy system presents itself and allows the creation of weapons, food, and armor for Oliver and his familiars. Defeating enemies in the world will provide new resources, and crafting schematics are unlocked by completing various side quests. On the topic of side quests, players will be able to take on bounty missions or complete tasks for villagers via a bulletin board. Completing these tasks will earn players gold, items, and a different type of currency called merit awards. Good deeds in the face of evil will net players passive rewards for their journey. Oliver can learn to jump or earn additional experience from taking on enemies in battle. The side quests are widespread, but the content never really changes. Each side quest is a fetch quest to kill a certain amount of monsters or collect items by using certain skills. Another gripe is how often Oliver is asked to snatch specific emotional tidbits of people's hearts. Oliver can cast a spell to repair those who are brokenhearted by the Dark Djinn, but the only way to do so is to ask the person first. This requires Oliver to engage in a ton of dialogue, activate his spells, and engage in more dialogue before he can complete the transaction. This is possibly the most tedious thing in the game, and even the interesting writing of each brokenhearted person doesn't alleviate the eventual annoyance.
Get on with it, man.
And knock knock, how do cha-ching.
Clear off, cha-ching.
What the heck was that, man? You slammed the door in my flipping face.
We're not open yet, are we?
Not open yet, but flipping hurry up, will you?
All right, we're open now.
With most of the minor gripes aside, Ni no Kuni is an astonishing role-playing game. It takes all the fundamental elements of classic RPGs and meshes them into one spectacular package. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch receives an A from Geek Citadel. Oliver's trip to save a new world is a journey that absolutely no one could ignore. Even if you are not a fan of the RPG genre, it would be a shame to miss out on this delightful romp.
Blast off!
For more reviews and opinion pieces, visit geekcitadel.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment on the webpage. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.